everyone, it's Terry Hartley here from Rustic Barn Cards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Iowa. Welcome. Welcome if this is your first time. If you are returning, I appreciate it. Um, Today is Tuesday, August the 26th, and I'm normally live, but today you are watching a recorded uh, video as I have an appointment. So today we're going to be using the Perfectly Pears bundle. I love the stamp set, but I even love the paper more. It is so pretty. And if you haven't seen it in person, you'll fall in love with it because it's even more beautiful than when you look at it online. We're going to make a congratulations card, but you could use any sentiment for the card. And there are some others to choose from the stamp set, but I've chosen congratulations. And of course, you could use a stamp set from another, or a stamp from another set that you have and make it a happy birthday or anniversary card or get well or thinking of you uh, also. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button and that bell so you'll be notified when I go live, which is normally on Tuesday each week at 1 p.m. Central. And I'm going to turn the camera down and we're going to start stamping. So how is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. Go ahead and still leave a comment. I love to, and let me know where you're watching from. I love to find out where everyone is from. So this is the stamp set, and maybe you have it, that we're going to use. So we're going to make congratulations, but a good friend is a gift. Thank you, hello, and friend. So those are the sentiments. We have two small pairs, and it is a two-step stamp. But you don't always have to do that. You can, but you don't have to. Um, you can stamp this just by itself, or if you want an outline, then you can use this. And so we are, and then the flower here, these little stamps here they're the centers for those flowers. And then you have a little splotch. And what it is for is you stamp it on your pear and makes little, kind of like little blemishes, makes it look more natural. And then here are the dies. I like these extra dies, like this leaf. And this is a really pretty, makes it kind of adds to the focal point. And then you have a couple of label dies. And then you also have the die that will cut out the shapes of the stamps. And we're going to need these three today, although I have already die cut what we need. But I wanted to make sure if you don't have this paper, you'll find 2 sheets of this paper in your pack because you get 2 sheets of paper of every design. And what I like is that you can use your dies to die cut the leaf, the flower, and the pear. Okay, and you can really, and so what I like to do is just to use my scissors and cut around, cut around the leaf, the flower, and the pear. And notice there are different shades of the pear. They're not all exactly the same. This has a little more green, this a little more yellow. And you could also, of course, fussy cut them, but this really quick and easy with the dies. And as I said, I already have that done for our project today, but I wanted to show you. And then we're going to be using this designer series paper, and it was a 12 by 12. This is actually my take 2 for my video. The other one went to Neverland, I guess. So we're doing this again. But I do want to show you how to cut the designer series paper, because sometimes when it's directional like this, I don't know if you have, but I have often cut it wrong, and then it's going the wrong orientation. So today we need, for our designer series paper, we need a 2 by 4 piece. But I'm going to cut the 4 inches first. So if I cut the 4 inches. And it kind of depends how you're going to lay it on your cardstock, but this is how it's going to go. The 4 inches is going to go across, and then I'm going to turn. And I think I'm looking at this. I could cut from here, but I'm looking down here, and I think I'll get more pears. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and cut the 2 inches off. So I'll have more pears in for my card. So, all right. So I am going to show you the card we're going to make, and then I have an extra one at the end. So this is the card that we're going to make today. Congratulations. And I have die cut the flower and the leaves and the pears out already. And I'm using the So Swirly embossing folder on the Mossy Meadow. So you're going to start with Darling Duckling cardstock for your card base, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold my card base and use my bone folder to make that nice and crisp. And then for basic white, you're going to need, for the inside layer, you're going to need a 5 1/4 by 4. Then you're going to need 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then the sentiment strip is a 1/2 by 2 3/4, but make it a generous half. So just a little more than a half. Okay. So you're going to need those. Well, I'll just leave that right there, I guess, in case you didn't have time to. All right. And then you're also going to need another piece of Darling Duckling cardstock, and that's going to be 3 by 4. And then you're going to need Mossy Meadow. And that is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. So if you need to take a screenshot of that, it would be helpful if I get that in the screen, wouldn't it? So, all right, now let's go ahead and make our card. Let's go ahead and do the stamping first. So we're going to, and we're using 3 inks today. We're using Secret Sea, Darling Duckling, and Petal Pink. So we're going to start with Petal Pink. I've already put the flower on our block. We're just going to ink that up. And this is for the inside layer, so I'm just going to stamp that in the lower right-hand corner. Then I'm going to come back with the Darling Duckling. And of course, you wouldn't have to add a flower in here, but I kind of like to add things inside my card. So we're going to ink this up, these little centers. And then you can just kind of line it up. There we go. Just like that. Put that in there. We'll finish with that and then lay that aside. And then let's go ahead and bring our sentiment strip in. And we need our Secret Sea. And congratulations. This could be congratulations for a new job. I am going, or somebody graduating from college or getting married. I'm going to stamp this over on the right of the sentiment piece because I'm going to put those flowers that I'm going to the die cut out right over on the left hand side. We'll lay that aside. Let's go ahead and bring our card base back in, and let's go ahead and add our basic white layer inside. So even though this is a quick and easy card, the paper and those pears just make it so easy to make such a pretty card, I think. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to emboss our mossy meadow cardstock that's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to bring in our cut and emboss machine. And this is the So Swirly, and it is not a 3D. So I'm going to add the mossy meadow. Mainly, you just try to get it lined up straight at the top. And you can put it wherever you want. So I just need plates. I need plate 1, and it shows you right here for using with standard embossing folders. Plate 1, then plate 3, your embossing folder, and plate 3. So here's my embossing folder. There's my plate, rather. Here's my embossing folder. The folded edge always goes in. And then the top plate. And then we'll just run it through. Going to shake a little bit. All right. Then we will move cut and emboss machine. And isn't that pretty? I don't know if you can, static electricity there, I think. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's really, really pretty. So we're going to go ahead and then bring in our designer series paper that we cut by 2 by 4. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet just to kind of protect in case I get any glue where I don't want it. I do not want it on my grid paper. And let's just double check, make sure that looks like it's going to fit just fine. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit, about right there, not all the way in the, I'm not going to put it all the way in the middle, but kind of about like this will be kind of just a little bit be under the middle. And then we'll add some adhesive. We'll put it about right there. Get this lined up as straight as I can. If I like it, then I go ahead and press down. Okay, and now we can go ahead and we can add this to our card base. Now the other one I'm going to show you, I've used a different color of card base. And sometimes I like to open the card base up. I don't always do that, but sometimes it's easier to get it lined up. Okay, let's set that aside for a minute, and let's bring in our darling duckling and our basic white. And the darling duckling is 3 by 4, and then the basic white is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And we're just going to layer those together. Just like that. And you know what? I did tell you that I had everything die cut, and I did, but that was for the first video that I did. That didn't, that went into Never Never Land. So we're going to do that. So we're going to, we need 2 pears. So I'm just going to cut around. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll use this one. So we need a leaf. And the reason I'm using the scissors is because I want to make sure that I can cut all of these. I want to be able to use all of these, so I don't want to cut into the, into the flowers and things. So we will be using the cut and emboss machine again, won't we? Guess it's a good thing. I guess I do need those dies. So grab my plates. So I recut the cardstock, but I forgot to die cut the pears, but that's fine because we can do that right now. So we are going to line up this pear. I like to use little sticky Post-it notes. So we'll do the leaf at the same time. And we'll just do that flower on the other one. All right, so let's go ahead and die cut this. I had my annual one-day retreat on Saturday, and we kind of highlighted this perfectly pears. So, okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to do 3. We're going to die cut the pear. We're going to die cut the leaf and the flower. Don't you love when you can die cut 3 things at once? I know I do. And then here is our flower. Maybe if I get it. There we go. Okay, let's see. There we go. Just couldn't quite get it, but we figured it out. All right, now grab the plate and I'm going to run it through. And we'll move that out again. I know some people use washi tape, but I find sometimes that washi tape is so strong that it tears my designer series paper. I don't know if maybe you have better luck than I do, but I like these little sticky notes. All right, so now we're going to bring in some glue dots. And I'm going to put a glue dot on the front of my leaf. That's not true. I'm going to put the glue dot on the back of my leaf, on the back of that, because I'm going to put it on the front of the pear. So again, I'm going to put the glue dot on the back of the leaf, a little branch, and just like that. Okay. And we will pop up that flower. So let's bring our card base back and our layer here. And we're going to go ahead and adhere our basic white and Darling Duckling layer. And I'm looking to see that the two sides are the same on the left and the right. I'm going to have a little bit more at the top than I am at the bottom, and making sure that I get it straight. And then this first one, I'm going to just add adhesive. I'm not going to pop up my first pear. And I'm going to put it close to the top of this basic white and Darling Duckling layer. And then I am going to pop up the second pear. So I'll put a dimensional on each of the leaves, and then I think that'll be fine, just 2 for the body. So we will take these backings off. And then I'm going to bring this down a little bit and overlap it just a little, kind of like that. And let's see what I did with, here we go. Here's a congratulations. Then we're going to add this, and I'm going to put it towards the bottom, but I want to overlap congratulations over the bottom of the pear just a little bit. So I'm just going to add a dimensional on each end of my sentiment strip. I think that's all you need. And if you watch me very long, you know that I love my dimensionals. So, but we're not putting too many on this one, just one on each end. And then I'm going to make this even with the basic white. Just like that. And then I'm going to pop up. Now on the flower, I'm going to lay this flower like this. So this flower here is already, this is already popped up, so I don't need to put a dimensional under there, just a little adhesive, but I'm going to put one dimensional under this top flower there. So I'll just pop up that one, and then I just need a little adhesive here. I don't need anything over here. So this has adhesive, and then this is the dimensional, and I'll just put it down just like that. I think I'm going to just, there we go. And then, of course, we want to add some embellishments, right? So we have these beautiful low-profile sparkle dots, a Darling Duckling, Mossy Meadow, and Secret Sea. So on the card the sample, I use Secret Sea. And on the card I'm going to show you, I use Mossy Meadow. So why don't we just try the Darling Duckling? Let's just use the larger one. Because I think the others I use the smaller, because you have two sizes, small and large. And let's just put that right there on that flower. All right, so here is our quick and easy card. Congratulations. Here is the sample card that is the same, except I use the secret C for to kind of bring out the congratulations. And then the other card I want to show you before we go to Barn Chats is using Petal Pink. So here I use Petal Pink for my card base. Everything else is the same, only I did not add a basic white layer inside because Petal Pink is light enough you can write with an ink pen and be able to see it, but you would be more than, you could definitely put a basic white layer of cardstock inside if you wanted to. So I'd love to know which card, get those up there. I'd like to know which card that you like the best. Do you like the Petal Pink card base, or do you like the Darling Duckling card base the best? But so that is my quick and easy card using Perfectly Pears. So I hope you like the card and hope all of you are doing well. So we are going to have Barn Chats, and Barn Chats is just where I tell you what's going on in Stampin' Up! And also what's going on here at Rustic Barn Cards. But I will make sure that I turn that off. If you were here last week when I did that, I was sharing things, but I left the Barn Chat photo up there the entire time. So that didn't work out quite so well, did it? Okay, I have three things to talk about today. I'll have a few more days. This is the last week, but the 31st for the 15% off the 2025 to 2027 in color products. And that does include the ribbon, the in color ribbon, and some paper, the ink refills, the ink pads, but it also includes other items besides just those. As a matter of fact, this beautiful Perfectly Pears paper that we are using today is also, you also save 15% because it has in colors in it. So there's several select items besides just the ink pads and the ink refills and the ribbon and the in color Designer Series paper that you can save 15% off. So go to my shop and filter it by clicking on in color, and you'll see all the things that you can save 15% off, but that does end. The last day is the 31st of August. The second thing you may have already heard, you may not, is that we are retiring the Stampin' Write markers, and they are available while supplies last, and they're on the last chance list. The 25 to 27 in colors are the package of those. They are discounted 15%. So check them out in my store. One of the reasons, because we are going to stop making our stamps with red rubber because we're having trouble finding the materials to make those. So those are two things from Stampin' Up! And then one more thing that's going on here at Rustic Barn Cards is it's time for the 12 weeks of Christmas, or it's almost time for the 12 weeks of Christmas. And this is free. It's free to my email subscribers. So if you're not an email subscriber, there's in the description, you'll find where you can sign up to be on my email list. And each week for 12 weeks, you will get a written tutorial with pictures and directions that you can print, plus a video to show you how to make that project. It's absolutely free. And I have teamed up with two other demonstrators, my friends, Connie from Canada, and she's Great Stamping with Connie, and Sarah from Australia, Sarah at Handmade After Dark. So we will be bringing you the 12 weeks of Christmas. Now, There is something extra that you can sign up. It's optional, and that is if you would like to receive the make and takes for all 12 projects, then there is that is extra, and you also get some product, and you can read all about that in the description. And here in the United States, it's $42, which includes shipping, and you get card bases and everything you need, the pieces, and some product to make the projects for the 12 weeks of Christmas. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's card making session. I'm again Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Have a great week, and I plan to be back here next Tuesday. And I will talk to you soon. Take care, and bye for now.